Pokemon, the most popular media franchise of all time and one of the longest lasting competitive gaming communities ever. Despite Pokemon's popularity, the competitive side of it has always stayed niche, partially due to the vast amount of game knowledge needed to compete, and also the inaccessibility of building a competitive team. But now with the release of Pokemon Champions, it's more accessible than ever for new players to build teams, compete on a ladder, learn, and play in tournaments. As someone who has been a fan of Pokemon for almost 2 decades now, I've always wanted to try the competitive side of things, and now I finally have the chance. So I wanted to see how good I could get if I spent 10 days straight playing. Will I get good at all? Would I have fun? Or would I end up just rage quitting after getting flinched one too many times? It was time to jump in and get started. The first real thing I had to do was choose my starter, which also determines what team I start with. You'd think for something like this, I'd take a lot of time and consideration into who I should choose, but I chose Charizard because it's cool. This is a good time to add that for this challenge, I'm only allowed to obtain Pokemon in Pokemon Champions. I'm not allowed to import any. I blast through the tutorial and now I'm free to do whatever I want. But before jumping straight into the game, I wanted to make a list of goals to keep me motivated. The main goals being to get to Master Ball rank, win a best of 3 in a tournament on the final day, and spend at least 5 hours improving every single day. Now that I had my goals set, it was time to improve. And I was taking this challenge seriously. So before I started playing at all, I wanted to do some research. For the first day, I just kept it simple, watching Wolfie and Scraw VGC videos and reading through the VGC guide website. My key takeaways were that for team building, you want to have good defensive synergy, types that cover one another's weaknesses. You also want some form of speed control, Icy Wind, Tailwind, Weather, or Trick Room. And I also wanted to know what Pokemon are currently good. So I got a lay of the land on what Pokemon are meta and what the strongest teams are in Pokemon Champions. Now that I had that out of the way, I put my first team together and started playing. My strategy was very basic. Set up Tailwind with Whimsicott and spam Heat Wave with Charizard. And let me just say, Charizard is a beast. He's just nuking everyone. I started off great. A lot of the people I was playing against seemed to have very little Pokemon experience, and with the extra research and prep I did, I felt like I was far ahead of the competition. In between games, I'd recruit new Pokemon, but I finally faced a foe I couldn't deal with. They had a Sand team. Weather is super strong in Pokemon. Depending on the type of weather, it gives buffs to different Pokemon depending on their moves, type, and ability. I did my best to bring Pokemon that matched up well, but it wasn't enough. This is the first time I faced someone who actually had a formulated strategy. After that small hiccup, I pretty much went right back to winning. And I also got to recruit 2 extremely powerful Pokemon, Sneasler and Arcaludon. Rounding out the first day, I didn't have a massive win streak, but I was able to make it to Ultra Ball tier. I wasn't doing anything special though. I was just using Whimsicott and Charizard and kinda hoping that the other person didn't have anything to deal with them. The key takeaway I had throughout the first day was, even though I was winning, it didn't feel very good. My team wasn't very cohesive. It was just a lot of strong Pokemon put together, but they didn't synergize super well. Overall, I felt like I made great progress on the first day, and I was looking forward to day 2. To start day 2, I did a little bit more research. The main things I learned is that Garchomp right now is a crucial counter to Charizard, resisting both fire and also having access to Rock Slide. I also learned that you don't want to be stuck in your game plan. Having multiple modes and being comfortable with multiple leads is extremely important. In all honesty, games were not really going my way. So I wanted to change things up, a completely new team. I wanted this team to be a little bit more unique to me. So I built it around one of my favorite Pokemon, Drampa. Drampa just got a Mega in Pokemon Legends EA, and I really wanted to test it out. It has a super low speed stat, so I knew it would work well in Trick Room. And what Trick Room does is it makes slower Pokemon move before faster Pokemon. This wasn't the most unique Trick Room team featuring staples like Torkoal and Farigiraf, but Mega Drampa and Mega Chestnut are definitely not the most common. The main idea of this team was to have Farigiraf set up Trick Room and then use Helping Hand to either boost Torkoal's Eruption or Drampa's Hyper Voice. With the team constructed, it was time to put it to the test. I instantly started seeing more success with this team. I had a stronger game plan with it, and I also felt more comfortable braining different modes. I was even able to go on a 6-game win streak with it. After finding success with this new team, I can check off my goal of winning with a unique party. But something became pretty apparent pretty quickly. Mega Drampa is just not very good. I envisioned him as a super powerful special attacker that can do massive spread damage, but it just wasn't doing very much, and I found myself using Chestnut a lot more. Another thing I found is that Farigiraf needs a little bit more support. My whole team functions around Farigiraf getting Trick Room up, and if Farigiraf dies on the first turn, there's pretty much nothing I can do. And other than Farigiraf, I just had 5 very powerful attackers, so it would be nice to have something that can provide more utility. So I made 2 changes. I added Grimmsnarl on the team, which is a great support Pokemon. With Prankster, it allows you to use Priority Parting Shot, Reflect, and Light Screen. It also gets access to Fake Out, which is a great support tool to make sure Farigiraf gets up Trick Room. I also swapped Mega Drampa for Mega Steelix. There wasn't that much of a thought process in adding Mega Steelix. I just kind of wanted to change it from Drampa because I was seeing so little success. And at the end of the day, I was able to get to Ultra Ball 1, the rank directly below Master Ball. Overall, I felt like day 2 was great. I was getting a lot more comfortable, and also my game knowledge was expanding a lot. Like during the first day, I didn't even know why Farigiraf was good, but now I know that its ability prevents enemies from using priority moves against you. I think it's very efficient to learn Pokemon through watching others play and researching, but I also think you need a ton of reps, just getting comfortable with how other people play, how to make predictions, what Pokemon can actually do. And I was excited for day 3 where I was going to hit Master Ball. At this point, you might be thinking to yourself, wow, this is going awesome. I mean, everything's going right. Well, I might be hiding just a few things from you.
Oh my god, it's so bullshit. Oh my god, bro. Like, this shit's just bullshit. Like, you shouldn't be able to do this, in my opinion. You have 2 Trick Roomers, Jesus Christ. I cannot handle these people. You brought 2 Trick Roomers. What do you do? What should I have done here? Like, you can't fucking make it up. This might actually be the dumbest person I've ever played against in my life.
It's clear that this game was making me mad, but I can't let that get in the way. I started the day grinding through the tutorials to get all of the rewards, and then I jumped right into playing. Of course, the first game I play is probably one of the most unlucky games I've ever played in anything. It starts off pretty normal. I get Trick Room up with my Farigiraf and Chestnut lead, and then it begins. Garchomp gets a Quick Claw proc, bypassing Trick Room, and lands Fire Fang. That's okay. And then it flinches me and burns me. Then Ninetales connects with Heat Wave on both of my targets and burns my Grimmsnarl. It's still okay though, because I have Trick Room and Sun Up with a full HP Torkoal. I pick up the KO on Garchomp, but Grimmsnarl can't finish the Ninetales because of the burn. Ninetales then lands Hypnosis, and my Torkoal gets max sleep turns. I could still win, but Ninetales lands another Hypnosis, and I lose. I don't know the exact odds of this, but I'm pretty sure it's not very likely. I end up getting a little hard stuck going between Ultra Ball 1 and 2 without very much progress, but after some strong persistence and will, I finally go on a win streak. 1 game off of Master Ball, and my only option is to execute. It's a standard game. I lead Grimmsnarl and Farigiraf to guarantee Trick Room. I pick up a free KO on Sneasler and get Torkoal in, which sets me up to dominate. I spam Eruption until it's just Charizard left. I finish the job with a Heat Wave, and Master Ball is mine. That accomplishes one of my goals, but it's only day 3, so I decide to move the goalpost. New goal, get top 30,000 on the leaderboard. I keep trucking along, but I start to get bored of my team, so I build a new one. I got a new tool in Incineroar and built a very similar team to my first one. Mega Charizard and Whimsicott, but this time with Mega Raichu, Venusaur, Incineroar, and Sneasler. I play a few games with the new team and end the day at 255,995th on the ladder. Far from my new goal. This was the first day where I fully jumped straight into playing. Early on in the game, I found success, and I even was able to go on a little win streak, almost making it to top 100,000. But then, I lost all of it. This day, I really started to feel like I was plateauing. I was definitely better than when I started, but it felt like every game I was playing was kind of a 50-50. I wasn't doing anything to get an edge on my opponents to consistently win. Because of this feeling, I knew something had to change. So I got completely dripped out. With these changes, I knew that literally nothing could stop me, and I instantly continued to lose. It was at this point where I really was getting frustrated, so I decided to actually take a productive step. I spent some time VOD reviewing myself, analyzing games to find the correct plays and see what I could improve on. The main things I saw in the VOD review were that I need to be more confident in my predictions. I was overthinking things a lot and needed to make more simple, confident reads. I also need to have better target prioritization. If their win con was weather, I need to get rid of their weather user. If their win con was to have their Staraptor or Arcaludon set up, I needed to remove them before they could. And finally, I needed to take more time on my decisions. There's no reason not to use the time given, and rushing moves will always result in playing worse. As I ended the day, I took these lessons to heart, and I hoped that they would allow me to reach a higher level. Day 5 was 4th of July, and honestly, going into it, I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to spend 5 hours on this day. But I did my best to get something out of it. I watched some Wolfie, and I learned that having a weird set on Pokemon can really catch people off guard. For example, a max attack close combat Incineroar could get you free KOs when people aren't expecting it. I was able to play one game, and this is how it went.
Okay, so I saw this tech that Wolfie did. I can Hyper Voice. They're gonna Fake Out, but if I switch for Rigoraffin, they can't do it. Okay, I clicked Reflect. Okay, they actually bulk up, so I think Annihilate just dies. Don't sleep on Sylveon. Alright, well, that was easy. Cool! Alright, that's my game.
I'd failed my goal of improving for 5 hours a day, but I still had plenty of time to reach my potential. After I'd VOD reviewed and had a full day off, I felt revitalized, ready to go on an absolute tear. And let me tell you, I absolutely locked in. I instantly went on a win streak, reaching my peak. I was making reads and doing shit I've never done before. Like, check this out. Rigoraff and Incineroar lead. Obviously, I'm gonna Fake Out and Trick Room. But no! Helping Hand, Flare Blitz, bye-bye. They instantly forfeit. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but it was a massive improvement. When I won, I was being decisive and confident, and when I lost, it was usually a close game. On my last game of the day, I was one win away from being top 30,000. I was playing against kind of an abnormal team, so I led my Incineroar and Mawile, and I was hoping to get a fast KO. I broke Aerodactyl's Focus Sash and put myself in a good spot. I wanted to get Trick Room up, so I switched out Incineroar for Farigiraf. I should be able to get a KO this turn, but then my Mawile got flinched. The game started to slip away. Now that my Mawile is vulnerable, I have to click Sucker Punch so I can take out the Aerodactyl. But it doesn't work, and it clicks Taunt on my Farigiraf, so now I can't get Trick Room up. I'm in a really bad spot, but I don't give up. I bring Incineroar back in, and now Garchomp's attack is halved. And I use Aqua Jet to finally finish off the Aerodactyl. My Incineroar goes down, and it's a 2v3. I get my Trick Room up, and now it's my turn to attack. Garchomp isn't a threat with its attack half, so I go all in on the Sceptile. One shot. Life Orb is slowly chipping Garchomp down, so I still ignore it, and I go all in against the Rotom. Another one shot. Now it's a 1v1. One move to decide the game. And it gets the KO! And I make it to top 30,000, finishing my goal, and I end the day satisfied. Going into day 7, I was still riding the high of day 6. And if you thought I was slowing down, then you thought wrong. I continued the win streak. I got it up to an 8-game streak, almost cracking the top 10,000. I was so high on winning, but it all started to crumble. The game stopped going my way. I started losing for the first time in 2 days and I couldn't handle it. I was getting embarrassingly frustrated to the point where I don't even want to show you. I was constantly changing my team now. I dropped to 60,000 on the leaderboard. So I took a break, but when I came back, it didn't get any better. It got so bad, I tried making a Perish Trap team, which I don't even feel like explaining, so all you need to know is it's really hard and it wasn't working. I'd now dropped down 150,000 spots on the leaderboard, back to where I started. After this disaster, I took a real break. I played some basketball to take my mind off of things, to remember why I was doing this. I wasn't trying to be the best Pokemon player ever. I'm just trying to have fun, to challenge myself to give a real effort and try something new and improve. With this reflection, I returned to the game with a fresh perspective. And even though I didn't start magically winning, my attitude was a lot better, and I ended the day in a lot better of a spot mentally. I think it's a good time to bring up what tournament I'm going to be playing in now. I signed up for Scraw VGC's Grand Champions Encore tournament. It's a massive online open tournament. These last few days of the challenge, I no longer really cared about my rank on the ladder, but I wanted to prep for the tournament. I felt like after doing so much experimenting trying to build my own teams, I came to a big conclusion. I'm not good enough to build my own team. There's so much time and thought that needs to go into constructing these teams, and I don't think I've played enough to know what really makes a team good versus bad. So I wanted to spend some time trying other people's teams that have won a lot of games and done well on the ladder. So I was trying a bunch of different teams and honestly, just none of them were sticking. I felt really stagnant. I wanted to find something that really clicked with me and I just couldn't. I was flatlining. I wasn't going on lose streaks, but I also wasn't going on win streaks. I was plateaued, and that's pretty much how the whole day was. Day 9 was more of the same, trying different teams and nothing feeling good. I wanted that spark again. I wanted a fire to be lit under me, but I couldn't find it. I was upset. I wasn't raging or getting mad, I just wasn't having fun. I'd really given competitive Pokemon a try, but it was starting to seem like it just wasn't for me. But I had a tournament to play. I wasn't just gonna give up. So for one last hurrah, I went back to my old reliable, my Trick Room team. I made some tweaks to it, which maybe I should have just stuck with what I had the most success with, but I played some games with the team to kind of refresh myself. I lost most of them, but that's what I was gonna use for the tournament. It's what I had the most fun with and also performed the best with. I didn't play a ton and the tournament was starting at like 7 or 8 in the morning, so I needed to get some rest so I could get up bright and early and dominate this tournament. All right, it's the day of the tournament, so I brought energy and passion. Even though the last days didn't go great, that didn't mean I wasn't ready to have some fun. I was also excited because tournament plays a little different from the ladder. In the ladder, you see what Pokemon the other person has, but in tournament, you see everything. Kind of. You see moves, items, and Pokemon. You don't see the stat spreads, but you have a lot of info. This makes things a lot different, since you can't get caught off guard by a random move. The tournament had a ton of people, and started off with a Swiss stage. Realistically, to make it to day 2, you needed a maximum of 2 losses. Jumping into my first game, I was playing against someone who had a pretty standard team. Their only Mega was Floette, and they had a Hisuian Arcanine, which I hadn't really seen anybody use before. For game 1, I kept it simple, Incineroar and Farigiraf. I didn't account for how Intimidate boosts Kingambit because of Defiant, which was an instant threat. I used Fake Out to stop Kingambit, and I'd take a Dazzling Gleam, but I get Trick Room up. So far, not too bad. I'm threatening a one-shot with Close Combat, so I keep it simple. Twin Beam the left and Close Combat the right. In retrospect, this isn't a great play because it's so obvious. I mean, they're going to protect or switch, so I probably should have just doubled into Floette or switched by Incineroar out. Now, I know it's obvious that they're gonna switch, so this time I double the Kingambit with Flare Blitz and Thunderbolt. The read pays off and I get massive damage. But there's an issue. I'm running out of Trick Room turns. They double protect to stall Trick Room and it's over. I cross my fingers they won't target Farigiraf, but they take it out before I can get Trick Room up and the game is lost. Honestly, it wasn't very close. It's okay though, it's a best of 3. So game 2, I bring Mawile this time, hoping I can get an early KO. I win the battle, but I kind of lose the war. I trade Farigiraf for Floette. Obviously, Mega Floette is better than Farigiraf, but now I have no way to control the speed, and they just tear me apart.
Match 1 is over, and they were definitely a lot better than me. But it's okay. In the tournament, I just need to win one best of 3. That's it. Match 2 is against someone who is also using Trick Room. I'd seen this team before on YouTube, so I generally knew what they were trying to do. They lead Vileplume and Torkoal, which is very dangerous. Both of our teams are slow, so I just try to take out the Vileplume as fast as possible. And I barely don't get the kill. I switch in Torkoal to tank the Eruption, and it does so much damage despite being resisted. The Vileplume goes down, but this isn't good. Most likely, our Torkoals are speed tied. I hit Torkoal early trying to weaken the Eruption, but I lose the speed tie. It's not looking good, but my Primarina matches up very well into their team. They make a massive blunder, and I'm able to take out their Torkoal, making it a 2v2. Now, I'm actually winning, but disaster strikes. On the turn that I would have taken out Scrafty, I get flinched by Rock Slide, and I lose the game. I was so close to winning. Without that flinch, I take out Scrafty, and I outspeed Farigiraf the next turn. But it's okay, it's a best of 3. This time, I lead Torkoal. I know it's both of our biggest threats, so I hope I can deal massive damage early. They use Sucker Punch, which doesn't work because of Farigiraf, and I pick up a double KO. I easily clean up, and now it is tied 1-1. Game 3, they go back to Vileplume and Torkoal. Instead of using After You to guarantee Eruption goes first, they double up into Torkoal, and they win the speed tie. And the game is lost in 1 turn. I was frustrated. It would have been a 2-0 if I didn't get flinched. I'd still played most of the turns pretty poorly. As they say, third time is the charm. And I'm going into this game max passion. My opponent is using kind of a cheese strategy. Raichu X sets up Electric Terrain, and Jolteon is able to do massive damage with Rising Voltage. I instantly sniff it out, and I fake out Jolteon and set up Trick Room. Now I have full control. I take out the Jolteon, and his Garchomp comes in. I target the Garchomp, getting it low, and he Earthquakes. So now I'm able to get Torkoal in, who sets up a double KO, ending the game. All right, this is it. One more game, and I win the best of 3, finally completing my goal. This time they bring Staraptor. I try to set up Trick Room, but I get flinched. I don't want to give Staraptor time to set up, so I go all in against it. The combo of Twin Beam and Flare Blitz crit gets the KO. I lose both Incineroar and Farigiraf, so it's down to Mawile and Torkoal with no Trick Room. They fail to pick up a KO on either of my Pokemon, so I get a free double kill. And all they have left is Whimsicott. There's nothing they can do, and I win the game 2-0. I can now cross off winning a best of 3, completing 75% of my goals. But I still have more tournament to play. My next match goes to a game 3. But in game 3, their Sableye uses Hyper Beam on my Farigiraf. I fail to get up Trick Room, and I lose the match. I tried to keep playing in the tournament even though I couldn't qualify for day 2, but my next opponent didn't show up, so I decided to just drop from the tournament. It was a great 10 days, and I just want to say mad respect to people who play this seriously. The amount of time and effort you have to put in is unbelievable. There are so many things to consider while playing. There are thousands of factors to think about, and millions of ways every single game can go. It's extremely difficult to play at a high level. It wasn't the most triumphant way to end the challenge, but I achieved what I set out to do. I had some hiccups along the way and definitely got more upset than I needed to. But that's okay, and I learned from it. I think it's a great habit to really sink your teeth into something and see if it's something you like. There's a world where I completely fall in love with competitive Pokemon. It just wasn't this one. I'm happy with what I accomplished. I'm happy that I really gave it my all, and I'm excited to give something else a try.